You lot, raise your glasses. This one's for Paul, Phil, and the Paranormal Soul Brother. Paul's got a torch and a tradies belt. Swears that he felt a cold hand on his bum. Phil's in the kitchen with a GoPro helmet, shouting, "Come at me, spirit, you cowardly scum!" Soul Brothers burning the bargain bin sage, reading vibes like a busted old gauge. Ghost wankers, ghost wankers, three brave idiots and a busted van. Ghost wankers, chasing bad vibes round the caravan. If your house feels weird and your dog won't stay, they'll rock up drunk and scare it away. Ghost wankers, best worst hunters in the whole damn land. Oh, yeah.
All right, tonight we have a great guest. We have Copa Unbound, and he has created an anime series. And Copa, you probably wonder what it means. It means the king of all gods. In this anime series, you can become the hero, or, well, with godlike powers, or you could be defenseless. I don't know. He's an indie creator helping others. And I will go ahead and read you the mission statement. Okay. Oh, yes. Here it is. Tonight, okay. At Copa Unbound, we believe your life is the greatest story never told. We don't just create art, we forge the ultimate version of you. In every other story, you're the viewer. At Copa Unbound, you are the vanguard. Our studio exists to strip away the ordinary and reveal the chosen hero hidden within your daily grind. By blending high-octane Japanese aesthetic with your personal lore, we provide the visual power-up you need to conquer your real-world rivals. We aren't the stars of the show. We are the grand masters in your corner, the blacksmiths of your armor, and the keepers of your legend. Your potential is limitless. Your transformation is unbound. And welcome to the show, Copa.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. We came up with this idea.
And how did you get?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, how did you come up with this idea?
To be honest, I'm a nerd, and I started with this because I had gotten divorced, and so my nickname was Copa, and I'm like, I'm unbound now. I'm free to do whatever I want. Because my wife always said, you're childish. So I decided, hey, let's take this childhood fantasy somewhere else. Because you remember when you were a kid, you put on a cape, you thought you were Superman? I said,
yeah.
Let's do something like this. Let's be childish.
Or a towel.
Huh?
Or a towel.
Yeah. So I said, let's be childish. So I came up with this thing. I said, I have a story. Let's make the audience the hero of the story. And then I was talking to my son. He said, if that grows, let's also next make the person be able to be the villain and then start having other roles. So right now, yeah, you start after episode 0. And if you like episode 0, you can apply and become the hero of a story. Now, if you don't want to be the hero of the story, we're going to have a generic hero to where people can still watch the anime. But if you want it customized towards you, we put you as the hero in that story. And we expect it to grow. And from being the hero, like I said, you can end up being the villain if you choose to be the villain. We expect the platform to grow, to give you other options. We're developers, so we can make anything possible.
Well, that's fantastic. And, it cracks me up because you're talking about as a child being a superhero. I actually did that. I would wear a towel and tie it around my neck. And the bully of the school grabbed the towel and swung me around. and I learned never to wear a towel around my neck again.
Hey, what they tell you? No capes.
No way.
No capes.
Oh my gosh. So tell me about your character.
My character here, he's not necessarily evil. He's not necessarily good. I mean, when you think about it, when you were a kid and you stepped on ants, you were never a good guy or a bad guy. You just did it because you were bored. Well, Copa escapes. He has godlike powers. He comes to Earth, and the first thing he does is he gives Earth 27 hours of honesty. So that means everybody can read each other's mind for 27 hours, and that just destroys our social structure. Kind of destroys the fabric of uh, of our society. So now, when this happens, I'm trying not to give the whole story.
Okay.
Now everybody who's living on Earth is, there's war, there's calamity, families versus each other, all because now everybody knows what each other's thinking, and so everybody on Earth hates Copa. They're thinking Copa's evil. So when Copa was in prison, I'm kind of messing it. I'm going back and forth. Copa was in prison by his children. They were able to find these artifacts that were able to imprison Copa. After they used the artifacts, they were hidden on Earth. Copa escapes. He does this thing to Earth because his children cherish Earth, and he sees the calamity that happens on Earth, and also he has to find these items in order to get back into power. So this is where he picks up a hero. He challenges someone to stop him, also work with him in a way. How can I best? I have the episode written, but I'm trying not to give it away. So the person who he picks as a hero, who is the person we're gonna all whoever chooses to play that person gets to play. He hates Copa, but he has to work for Copa because if he doesn't work for Copa, Copa is going to destroy Earth. But he also want to work for the children who imprison Copa so he can imprison Copa again. So you have this, I want to stop Copa. I can't because he'll destroy the Earth. So I'm going to secretly work with Copa's enemy to cage Copa back up, but yet I still have to work for Copa. And there's a whole lot of twists and turns that happen that you're going to find out about Copa's children and about Copa. So as I'm telling you, you're thinking one way, but it's going to flip a whole bunch of different directions. It's more about human reaction, how we see things, how we take things, how we react to things. So when Copa gets our hero, he freezes our hero for 5 years. And he installs on Earth a gift. He gives everybody random powers to see what they're going to do with it. Some people become evil. Some people become good. Like, say, the homeless guy you kick at the corner. Now, all of a sudden, he has superpowers. World's been doing bad things to him. Now, he might become an evil person. So your hero wakes up 5 years later after the Earth has gone through this turmoil of 27 hours of truth, and then 5 years of random people having such and such power. And our hero has to navigate through this, find the treasures to cage Copa, also find the children that are looking for the pieces to cage Copa, and also try to stop Copa. So you have a lot of things going on at the same time. But as you're going to find out, it's not always what you think.
Okay, so let's say Steve and Zandine here, they want to be heroes and stuff. So they come to you and they say, hey, make us into a hero. Do you tell them to create the hero and describe it, and then you'll create it? Or do you just randomly just grab for certain things and say, okay, this is going to be you?
Oh no, what we're going to do is we're going to get a picture of you, and we want to hear what you sound like. And your
Oh,
face and your voice is
okay.
going to be the hero. So that hero is
Oh,
going to be your name, your face, and your voice.
oh, okay, okay.
So
I
when we
like
say
that.
you're going to be the hero, you are actually going to be the hero.
And this is a 30-minute like film?
It's going to be every episode is going to be 30 minutes. We're
Wow.
planning to release one episode a month, but our first episode, episode 0, you're not going to see the hero because in episode 0, it's all about Copa escaping from his children, coming to Earth, and doing this calamity, and then he calls out to see who's going to be the savior of Earth. And episode 1 is where you're going to get the option to be the hero. So episode 0 is telling a story leading up to the hero. And then episode 1, which is also going to be broken down in 30-minute episodes, will be where you get to be the hero.
Wow. Now, for the public out there, is there like a fee for them to do this?
Yeah, we're actually looking at a fee structure. Currently, we don't have the fee structure. I was thinking it right now we're working on the software, working on the concept of the software to go ahead and change that person. Me and another person, we're both developers. And we were looking at if we release episode 0, we want to get opinions on what they think about episode 0. And then after we get enough opinions on episode 0, we're going to start promoting and seeing who wants to be the character for episode 1. Depending upon how many people say they want to be the hero of episode 1, we're going to start making episode 1 with the hero. But if we don't get enough people that say that, we're going to just have to have a generic hero. So it'll be
So,
like a anime.
so if there's somebody out there and he goes, okay, I want to be this copyrighted character, I want to be Batman. Is that possible?
We don't own the rights to Batman, but you can be you.
Okay.
So if you come out and you want to be who you are, we can do that. But if you want to be Wolverine, we can't throw Wolverine in because it's
He's
copyright.
copyrighted, and Marvel will come and bite your ass.
Exactly. So our thing is we want it to be you and to sound like you.
Well, that's cool. That's
So the
cool.
whole point is our platform, what we're trying to do is we're creating a platform to where independents can host their anime on our platform. Also, independents can host their books on our platform. Pretty much, let's be honest, it's going to be a poor man's Crunchyroll. That's what it's going to be. Instead of having to search on Facebook or search YouTube to find it, you can go to our site. You can go through and see what anime you want to see. And hopefully, if we get enough people coming through, we can get advertisers and people can start making profits off of their anime. And also because my job is what's actually financing it. I don't have any corporate people telling me what we can do and what we can't do. It's all up to us and up to you.
Let me ask my panel here what they think about it. Would they want to be a hero into one of your series? And I'll start with the Paranormal Soul Brother, Zandine.
Oh, first of all, man, I think that's really. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can hear you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. No, I think that that's like a really like new, exciting idea, like with anime, because a lot of people, if you say that you're into anime, or you have like me, you have kids, or say me and you both probably like anime. We could probably talk about our favorite series later, but if you have kids that followed us, you notice that it's like a cult thing on one hand. Like if a man your age or my age, if they like anime, they're like, hey, you like anime? So I think it's cool that you even go in that direction. Number one, a lot of people are going to give you props just like off the bat. Like it's one artist, oh, J. Cole, he did an album, but he just did a song that they thought was okay. But the fact that he mentioned anime in there, it got him like, like millions of more fans on it. It was a trip. So I think that, but then the fact that you have interactive, you have some kind of, I wouldn't say Dungeons and Dragon element, but you have some role, you have like different elements that people can grab onto that you aren't able to normally do with the anime. So you're taking it a step further. So, I think I like to be a hero. I'm not the type of person that likes to see the protagonist slowly develop, get beat up, roughed up. I want to start out OP, man. I want to be overpowered right away. Anyway,
Well, you know, it's gonna be like this. Like I said in the beginning, right now we can make the hero the character, but as we go on,
Yeah.
when you get, since we're developers,
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
goal
Yeah.
is this. We're right now. I gotta be honest, using AI to do a lot of anime. My goal is to
That's beautiful.
eventually, as it grows, hire people that can do anime and they will work with AI to make better anime. Hire writers to make the story better, because I don't think AI should replace anybody. I think it should be a tool that we use. And then me and my friend, us being software developers, write a platform to where we can. You remember when you were a kid, they had those books and you read like 2 or 3 pages and it says you make a decision. It says turn to this page or that
Right.
page. Do something like that as we advance and we get more into it, to where now you make a decision and
Okay.
based off your decision, so forth. So we can use AI, we can use the whole artificial intelligence to make a world, and we can use actual people to increase, to make the anime better, to write better stories, and we can use that AI, like I said, create that world, because you never know what you can do with it. You could take that AI, maybe you could throw into your Google Oculus, and now you're actually, there's so many things you can do with it if you keep that technology with it. So the
And,
You
plan
and
know,
you
is
know
to,
the
I
Google
was
AI. Google AI right now. They just yesterday offered for the AI Studio free to anybody to go ahead and make apps, videos, whatever you want. Now I know it's good because I had the free tier on 2.5 all the way up to 3.1, able to make all kind of stuff. I mean, like the way you're thinking about it, they have two-player front end and back end full stack development on that now. Like, because if you go to Claude or ChatGPT, you can do an MCP import, another skill or another function in there and have somebody else do it. But it's not like Gemini right now, that AI Studio, man, because you can say, hey, I want the characters to be purple with gold jewels in their eyes, with powers or whatever. You can get the front end, and then when you get the user interface, it's cold. So I don't, I'm not saying professing it's the best, but from what I see now, they just released when DeepSeek has just reduced their price by 75%, and as soon as they did that, Google Studio came out with free. They want you to develop an app or a video project, whatever. They got Omni right now, so you got to try Google Omni.
I'll give it a shot.
I mean that when you put your finger, that's that Terminator type stuff. When you put your finger into the glass and it looks like it's like water dripping, it's cold. Oh my god! But anyway, I'm with you on the AI.
But see, that's where I want to go with it. I want to take my development skills with my friends' development skills and
Yeah,
develop a platform where we could do not just make anime, but bridge it. You know what I mean? Where now we're doing
nice.
Oculus things. Not only are you the hero, you can be the villain, or we can have a sub
The
story with just you and your friends. Build a whole Copa universe.
And
villain
Copa.
part is original. Sorry about that, Paul. The villain
Oh
part
no, no,
is
no, that's okay.
that villain part. The fact that because everybody got different personalities. I thought that was really cool. But sorry about that, Paul. I'm
Oh
done.
no, no, no. I was gonna also too pass it on to Steve because Steve has something to say. But I just got this in the mail. I review books, and
Uh-huh.
I bet you anything, Zandine would love to have this book. But you can't have it. I'm sorry.
Oh man. What's up, Steve, man? Sorry about that, Steve. What you got for it? What you got,
well,
man?
I was going to say I was reading one of those books you were talking about. I turned the page and I got eaten by wolves. So that ended that one. But my question is how do you interface with your altered ego in your system? How do you control your alter ego? How do you make it work?
Well, at this point in time, your character, you're the hero, but you're just following the storyline. The goal
Okay.
is, as it goes on, that we're going to make it more of almost like a game engine, a live game engine where you're interacting with it. But that's later on. Like I said, since I'm funding it myself, right now you're gonna get to be the hero in my story. So it's gonna be my story. You get to be the face, the voice, and you're just gonna follow my storyline. But as we progress, and if it becomes more successful, the goal is to now let you be the villain and eventually make it almost like an open world to where you can make decisions. The characters have different personalities. I mean, with AI now, and with my development skills, and with my other friend who's a developer, there's nothing you can't do. So
Man,
we're
that
starting
could
out
be
this following story.
that could be a real blast once
That's
it
what I'm
gets
hoping.
advanced. Yep.
And can the public watch this episodes and everything like that?
Oh yeah, the episode's going to come out in July. They're going to get everybody's going to get to see episode 0 for free. Episode 0 is Copa escaping and coming to Earth. So you're not actually going to even see the hero in episode 0. Episode 1 is where the hero comes into place. So this gives everybody a chance to look and say, do I want to be part of this story? And if they like episode 0, hopefully they want to be part of the story, and they can be part of the story in episode 1.
Phil, what do you think about that?
Where will we be watching it?
I'm going to release it on my Copa Unbound site.
Oh, okay. Cool.
CopaUnbound.com.
I think it sounds awesome. I'd like to see some. I've always wanted to see a storyline where you have some, and I think it's probably been done before if I think hard enough. But I like when you think someone's the bad guy, and then it turns out that everything they've been doing, and it could be really horrible things, turns out that like it was for a good cause. So he's murdering a baby, but it turns out to be like baby Hitler kind of thing.
Well, what caught me was one of my favorite animes is Code Geass. And you go through Code Geass, and the kid wants to stop Britannia from taking over. And then he goes through where he's fighting with the resistance. Then he's helping the Chinese with the resistance. And then he becomes the enemy. And in the end, he realizes the only way the world can have peace is if they have a common enemy. So he becomes the bad guy in the end. You guys all seen Code Geass, right?
No.
It's a good anime.
Yeah.
It's a good.
Andy,
it's a
you're
good
on mute.
Oh, I was saying, explain his power to him in Code Geass. He has an interesting power.
Oh yeah, he when he looks at you, he gives you a command, and you will do that command. Now, if he only can give you a command once, he can't do it a second time. So if he tells you you will go to the water faucet every day at 2 p.m., you're going to do that every day of your life. So that was one of his powers. And he went through all this to try to make everybody equal. He started off fighting against his father, Britannica. Then he joined with the Chinese. And then all of a sudden he turned into the bad guy, and he suppressed everybody only so he could be everybody's enemy. So everybody who hated each other came together to fight against him. That was the only way he could bring peace, was to be hated by everyone.
Copa, you said that you're a nerd. I'm a nerd too. I think we're all nerds. We're all
I think
nerds.
so.
Yeah. Did you read comic books when you were a little boy?
Still do.
Okay. All right.
I got an interesting story. I was at the Lady Death, and I went to this place to buy this comic book because it was a past book, and they weren't selling in stores. So I called all over to find this comic book. So I go to find this comic book. I ask for it. I'm looking at it, and this strange guy comes up and says, "Oh, you like my daughter?" I looked at him, I'm like, "Okay, crazy person. Let me get away." So I walk away, and the guy said, "Do you know who that is?" I'm like, "Nah, some crazy guy talking about the lady on his comic books, his daughter. He's the writer of the comic." So after I dissed this guy, thinking he's crazy, here I am going back to him. "Can you sign my comic?" So
and who was the person? Who was?
Oh, I forgot who wrote Lady Death. Forgot his name.
No, Lady Death, Brian Paluto.
Yes, he was there. He was the one looking at me, and I had no idea who he was. I thought he was some crazy guy talking about my daughter.
Oh my God! I met Brian Paluto at the 1998 San Diego International Comic Con. And yeah, Lady Death. Oh my God. And in
Nice.
fact, I used to have a figurine of Lady Death and someone stole it. Um, and then also too, I met the creator of Dawn.
Oh,
Yeah, you
I
know
remember
who
that.
Dawn is, right? Yeah,
Yes.
okay. That was Michael Linsner. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. Um, yeah, I used to be in the comic book business, so yeah, I met Stan Lee and all kinds of people. In fact,
Oh, yeah.
we've actually on this show we've had a few legends in the comic book field.
See, I'm in all that. I still got toys. My wife hated it. I got Voltron. So Spot toys.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah. I live
And
next
you,
to. I used to live by Japantown. You know, they had all the writing, all the different arms. You know, that were imported. We didn't even know. So, you know, you couldn't read half of the names. So, but you know, we're like, man, we got the freshest. Let me ask you. So, do you like manhwa, like the Korean mangas? You like manga, Korean animes, the Chinese animes?
You know what? I haven't read too much manga. I've been really into watching anime. I think the last Korean anime I watched was Solo Leveling. I believe that's
Oh,
Korean.
Solo Leveling. Okay, yeah, everybody likes it. Okay.
I love. I mean, it's so simple. It's so basic, but it just. I don't
Yeah.
know.
You know they have if you check out Otaku, they have a bunch now. Like if it's one that you like, you know, they refer you to about like 20 of them. But that one that you had that you just talked about, they have several where the guy, his skill is no skill. You know, he has no magic anything, but he works so hard that he's equal to, you know, the guys with the real power.
Are you talking about the wand and the sword? Because I've been watching that one too. Wistoria.
That's one. Yep, that's one of them too. Black
Yes.
Clover.
You know what? There's some anime. I gotta be honest. This is funny. I'm an undercover nerd because he was asking me how I got my name Copa. If I was a biker, I was a biker. I used to ride with a motorcycle club because I was a big dude, so I was an undercover nerd. They never knew how much of a nerd I was because I was always quiet. They're like, "Oh, he must be tough. He's a big guy. He's quiet." So I'm riding with them and everything else. Yeah, undercover nerd. But I forgot where I was going with that.
What you like? What you were talking about with anime or you used to like back in the day? You like, you know, which ones you started watching?
The first anime I ever watched, and I didn't know it was an anime, was Robotech. It was the first time I got out of school, and I had to catch each series to understand it. Because back when you watch cartoons, you watch G.I. Joe, you could miss every episode because every episode was different. But Robotech, I was like, wait, hold on. It didn't end. I gotta come back and catch it again. So now I'm caught up every day to watch this
Yeah,
anime.
yeah.
What about Eighth? Remember Eighth Man, the robot? Tobor the robot. That goes way back. I
I
think
didn't
an
see
Astro
Astro.
Boy,
Astro Boy.
Gigantor.
yeah, yeah. A big guy. Are you talking about Big Guy and Astro Boy?
Well, yeah, this little
Astro
kid
Boy.
controlled this giant robot. But my favorite was called Eighth Man, and he was a robot, and he would change into a human, and his name was Tobor, which is robot backwards. But in looking back at it, I think it was would be considered anime, along with Astro Boy and Gigantor. See, that's I can't relate to any of the stuff you guys are talking about because it's too recent.
Oh
But
yeah,
like you go way back to the '60s, and there I can get a hold of Eighth Man on a DVD, a little expensive, but I used to love that, man, and I used to love
When
the sound he
when
made when he was running.
I was stationed in Korea, I would turn on the TV and I would watch some of the Korean anime, and it was like, wow, you know. I mean, yeah, just so much anime over
yeah,
there in
yeah, yeah.
Asia.
Tons
Yeah,
of it.
Oh yeah.
tons of it.
I mean,
Hey,
yeah, I love anime.
But the story I looked at your page, man, and how did you come up with the good art that you had? You know, the colors and everything. What inspired you for your cover art?
I don't know. It was just something I threw together. In the beginning, my when I like I said, I got gotten divorced, and I said, I'm going to do something. And my cousin said, you know what, you need to recreate yourself. So he had me going out to nightclubs and all that stuff to recreate myself. And I said, you know what? let me recreate myself and make myself the bad guy in an anime. Then I can say whatever the hell I want to say, and nobody's going to judge me because I'm the bad guy. You know, all the things you're afraid to say, I can say them now. So that's kind of what made me
Wow.
decide to go
Wow.
with Copa. And yeah, that's the rest of it is all about feeling. When I'm gonna be honest, you know, I'm sitting down, I'll have a little cognac, and then that's when I start working on my anime, and I just kind of do what I feel at the time. So if the color fits me or if the music fits me as I'm doing it, that it
When it's
just
inspirational, yeah, that's not. Hey, you got to do it when it hits you. You can't force it.
exactly.
Hey, Copa, I got to tell you. Okay, we got about 5 minutes left,
Okay.
but that's not the end of the show. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and then Phil will send us a second link, and that way we'll finish off the interview.
Okay,
So,
that's cool.
okay, so about 5 minutes, it's going to shut down. 10-minute break, and then we're back on again.
Okay, I gotta be honest. This is my first podcast. I've always been in the shadows, hiding away from stuff. So this is very interesting.
And you know, I love your character though. I mean, he is so badass, and I and the dragon, it was like breathing fire on him, you know, but it didn't even affect him, you know. So it was like, wow, that's cool.
Wait till you see what
Yes,
happens.
huh?
Wait till you see what happens with the main characters. See, to keep the main character in check, the hero, his shadow is going to be Copa. Copa's going to put a piece of him inside our main character so he can feel what the main character feels and understand human emotions. And it's going to be following him as a shadow. So Copa's going to keep watching our hero, but watching him as a shadow. So it's going to be interesting when you see it.
Now, when Paul goes on your program and is the hero, I want to see him wearing a towel for a cape.
No. When I go to Copa and say, Copa, make me a hero, I'm gonna make myself into a badass army dude that's gonna whip some butt on Marines.
Oh, that's when they'll go error.
Just leave the sailors alone.
I mean, come on,
Audie
Marines, we
Murphy.
need a taxi. As we always say, we need a taxi.
Oh my god. Okay, we got about 3 minutes left. Anybody have any good
Yeah.
jokes or anything like that?
Hey, Copa, I want to ask you: do you think as you write these new disclosure files that have been released and the talk of disclosure, do you think that will have any bearing on how you write stuff in the future?
Mm, disclosure files. I'm not sure what you mean.
Like people's ideology changing, people like because one right now, even say my
Steven
favorite TV
Spielberg.
program I'm into, look for, every week or whatever. But there could be some news publicly that happens where everything is just so in chaos that you're not even worried about TV anymore, or you're not worried about the things you did like that.
It might have some changes because the whole point of Copa in the end is Copa's our look at humanity without being human. That's what it really is. Like I said, everything that you think Copa did that's evil is actually not Copa doing the evil. It's actually the people. Like when he does the 27 days of truth, you have the option. You can find out truth from people and
Hmm.
be kumbaya, but instead it collapses. When he gave people power, they can use power for good, but instead they use it for evil. It's looking at our world and people without having an aspect of from looking at it from a distance. You know what I mean? We
Okay,
always
okay.
look at it like, so Copa's not really a bad guy. He's giving you something and we've used it for bad.
And Copa, have you seen all the YouTube movies that people are creating where they're doing crossovers where, let's say, Freddy Krueger meets Jason Voorhees or something
I
like that?
seen Batman versus the Predator. That was
Yeah,
pretty good.
I saw that. I mean, people are really using that AI and creating some really good stuff.
And that's the thing right there. I think there's a lot of people who are creative. It's just we didn't have the tools. Like if there was no AI, I have to hire people who can do art, people who can write. And to start, I couldn't do that. I would have to be a huge company. I would have to have a lot of finances. AI has made it easier for a person to start from nothing and build up.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been using. Oh, go ahead, Sandy.
No, I was gonna say any cyber letter. I mean, there's like at least 10 new tools that come out. In the video portion, as I said before, is the last. They're shoring that up a little harder than other areas because it was behind. So some reasoning models, the latest models, they're putting that muscle behind video production and story. So now one prompt almost like Zoe can replace Higgsfield and Veed and all those in one LLM, one large language model. So you got models coming out today that can replace everything we have. You can do a movie in one prompt. I'm talking about with great detail. It'll take all the direction. And a lot of cyber letters every day they include a prompt of a detailed picture or movie or short, and they word even things like the air had fine glitter specks. The faintest echo of the tiniest whisper of they'll have the any little detail you want. If you can say and think it, it's getting to the point now where
It
these
could be
models are
created.
able to pretty much do a whole movie.
That's cool right there. That's cool.
And they
Joke for you.
Okay.
You said you wanted a joke.
Okay.
I remember hearing this one a long time ago when I was in the Corps. It's so anyways, back down in Paris Island, all the heads, the 4-star generals from each of the branches of the service went down to Paris Island and wanted to witness what it took to create a United States Marine. They wanted to see why we consistently turn out the best of the best every year, and just maybe learn something. So every general has its aide, and so each one of these from each one of the branches, the Navy had his Navy SEAL with him, and the Army had his Green Beret with him. The Army General had his Green Beret with him, and Air Force had their Special Forces guy with him. And
Special operations.
I don't think the Coast Guard showed up, but anyways, so they all showed up down there at Paris Island, and they got a senior drill instructor, black belt out there to give them a tour around the island. So they took them out to the firing range, and they saw these Marines shooting from the 200 and the 300 and the 500-yard line, and realized that no other branch does that. And they said, anybody want to try that? None of them wanted to try it. Then they took them out to the grinder, and they saw them marching all day, even in black flags when it was over 90-something degrees, and said, anybody want to try that? None of them wanted to try it. They took them out to combat hitting skills and everywhere else. And each time, want to try that? No takers. Took them up to the rappelling wall, took them out to all the combat courses, took them everywhere, all over the island. And each time, combat, survival, swim, you name it, everything that we've done. And he offered each one of the guys that was with these generals, does anybody want to try any of these things? No takers the whole time. So finally, a little bit disgusted, the senior drill instructor takes them across 1st Battalion to the golf course, walks into one of the ponds in the golf course, pulls an alligator out of the pond, drops his drawers, pulls his dick out, shoves his dick in the alligator's mouth, closes the alligator's jaws, takes out his little baton, starts beating the shit out of the alligator's head until the alligator lets go of his dick. And he says, now, would anybody like to try that? So the Army Green Beret says, I will if you don't hit me in the head.
Hey, I got one for you too. Okay. The Berlin Wall. Back in the day when the Berlin Wall was up, here you had an army soldier over here, and you had a Russian soldier on the other side of the wall. So the army soldier, he was like kind of bored and everything. And so he looks at the Russian soldier and he says, are you a parachutist? Do you jump from the airplane? Are you a parachutist? And the Russian soldier looks kind of confused. What the hell? What was that all about? And he goes, the army soldier looks at me and goes, are you artillery? Are you artillery? The Russian soldier's going, what the fuck is he talking about? What the hell? What? Well, what does that mean? And then the army soldier goes, are you an observer? Are you an observer? At that time, the Russian soldier is freaking out. He's running like crazy. He left his post, and his captain looks at him and goes, why in the hell aren't you at your post? What are you doing down here? He goes, that army soldier is so fucking crazy. He says, when the sun comes down, he's going to fuck me in my ass till my eyes pop out.
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's why army soldiers are so damn tough.
I got one for you here.
Okay.
Okay, you have a Air Force general, Army general, Navy general, and a sergeant major from the Marine Corps, because you know that's who represents us. And they're talking about who's the baddest service on earth. And the Army general says, "The Army, we got the toughest, bravest soldiers." So they fly out to one of the Army bases, and he says to one of the recruits, "Come down here." Recruit comes down here. He says, "I want you to go up to the top of that hill and jump off, kill yourself." Guy runs to the top of the hill, jumps off, kills himself. He says, "See, that's bad right there." The Navy guy said, I got something tougher than that." So they fly to one of the ships. He's like, "Come here, seaman. I want you to jump off the side of the ship, land into the engines, and let it grind you. Kill yourself." So he goes, "Yes, sir." Jumps off into the engines, get grinded up. So the Air Force says, "I got one better than you." So they go to an Air Force base. He says, "I want you to get in that plane, and it gets really high up there. Jump out the plane, land onto the ground, kill yourself." Guy says, "Okay, General." Gets on the plane. They get up in altitude. He jumps out the plane, falls to the ground, kills himself. Those Sergeant Major from Marine Corps said, "I got something better than that." So he flies him out to the Marine Corps base, Camp Pendleton. He says, "Recruit, come here." Recruit says, "Sir, yes, sir." He says, "I want you to go out there and jump off that cliff and kill yourself." He says, "Fuck you, Sergeant Major." Said, "That's brave."
Oh,
My father was at Camp Pendleton.
whew, man.
That's right. Zandine's father was a jarhead. Non-vet.
Oh, God. Oh, so anyway, we're going to go back to the anime. Those were some good jokes, I'm telling you. I'm going to ask Koba. I'm going to name off a few anime characters, 10 being the best and one not so good. Okay, so if I name them off, Gaku from Dragon Ball.
I give him about a 5. It wasn't my top cartoon. Wasn't my top anime.
Okay. Pikachu.
That was one of my kids, so I give him about a 3.
In fact, my son, when he was a little boy, he named our dog Pika after Pikachu. Naruto, Uzumaki.
I give Naruto. I give it a 6 because it was, even though it was my kids' era, I could actually watch it.
Naruto Uzumaki.
Okay, you got it. You got it. Okay, Saitama, One Punch Man.
Oh yeah, that's my guy right there. He got to get a 9.
Yeah, One Punch Man. Woo.
Yeah. Okay. Demon Slayer.
I like him. I give him a 9 as well. I like Demon Slayer.
Okay. Hey, right now they got those ladies, K-pop Demon Slayers. Is that? And it's a real group or an anime group. It's brand new, but anyway, Astro Boy.
Astro Boy was kind of before me. I really couldn't get into it. So it was more probably around a 3 for me. Cause yeah, it just didn't hit me.
That's
I'm
fair.
sorry,
I
Steve. It
agree.
didn't hit him.
I agree. Astro Boy, wasn't my favorite. It was Man. It was Eighth Man. I'd give Eighth Man a 10.
Okay, Sailor Moon.
That's right.
Come on now. I really didn't watch female cartoons when I was a kid.
Hey,
Uh,
but you know what though? I'm like you, Sailor Moon. When you look at Sailor Moon, but when I heard the character explain, like she's a star seed that was saving us, was put to sleep, came back as relearning, but their purpose is really to help us. But like, they got the little girly stuff and like you, so you don't. I mean, me and you wouldn't really watch Sailor Moon,
Well, when I was a kid, I lived in the projects. We didn't have cable. So on Saturday morning or on school days,
right?
Sailor Moon came on, but Voltron was on too. So it was like, so I
Yeah,
didn't even get a chance to watch Sailor Moon because I'm like,
yeah.
wait, we got this girl with powers. We got Voltron, five
Voltron.
times.
Hey, you remember Goldar?
Godar. Uh, no, I
Let me
don't.
see. Did you watch Ultraman?
I know who Ultraman is.
That was a little bit before. That was probably a little before. When you was. Hey, so what about Speed Racer?
Yeah, I remember Speed Racer. That came on every morning at
Love
5 o'clock.
What's
Speed
your
In the
Racer.
main
morning.
cartoon? What's your main cartoon of say 6, 7, 8?
Uh, I woke up. It would be Voltron in the morning.
Okay.
Uh, Speed Racer because that came on at 5. Uh,
Okay.
the rest of it wasn't really anime. It was all just cartoons. You know what I mean? Because there wasn't a lot of anime. I really didn't really get into anime until I started going to like Hollywood videos, and they had like half a shelf of anime.
Yeah.
Other than
Yeah.
that, it was just
Do,
cartoons on
I know
TV.
what you
do
mean.
you do you remember G-Force?
Oh yeah, that's what they called it. Battle of the Planets when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Instead of
they wore those like bird feather like capes things, and they had that spaceship that launched out of the ocean or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that.
As a kid, that was I think the
G-Force.
first that and Speed Racer were the only two animes I really remember as a kid vividly, and yeah, G-Force was awesome.
Same thing here until I saw Robotech. Robotech was the first. See, G-Force, I can miss a part of G-Force and it didn't matter. But like I said, when I saw Robotech, that was the first time I was like, oh, I got a soap opera here. I got to actually watch this.
I got a dog named after Speed Racer's girlfriend, Trixie.
Trixie.
I
Hey,
love Speed Racer.
they were anime. I mean, because it was Japanese. Like it was that precursor for them. So I guess you could say, you
We
know,
didn't know it was anime. I just thought it was a cartoon, but I mean, you had back then it was like that or it was Bugs Bunny, I mean, really wasn't much else.
Exactly. I had no idea that Robotech was an anime. I didn't, you know what? I didn't know what an anime was until I got into the Marine Corps. Then my friend came back from Japan, and he showed me this anime. And then I was like, oh, I gotta get back into anime. He showed me Fist of the North Star, the movie, where he hit you
oh,
once and your head blew up. And
oh my God.
we're all sitting there 18, 19 years old watching Fist of the North Star.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
rekindled my love into getting into anime.
Oh man, Fist of the North Star. I had to watch all man. That hey, wasn't it? It was cold, but it was funny. It was deadly. I mean, that dude, man. I mean, like you said, uh, and they kept all these series going. Did you watch all of them? Did you keep going with them?
Yes, I even watched the one with his brother because there's one where it shows his brother Rao, how
Wow,
again
yeah,
Rao went from nothing to getting power before they meet in the end.
right. Oh man, Fist of the. Does anybody else here know Fist of the North Star? Phil, you know about it,
Man,
Phil?
when I was in the Marine Corps, we did other things. There was a Campbell June had a lot of strip clubs. I'll put it that way.
Well,
Okay.
we get that too. Come on now. The whole thing was you got off work, played a little basketball or whatever, and you went out and you partied and got drunk all night till around 2 or 3 in the morning, go back home, get a little bit of sleep, and go to work and do it all again. I don't know
You
how
know,
I did it because I can't do it now, but
you know what we watched is the guys I bunked with. We all had the VHS re-releases. They had just started to re-release them on some weird label. of the Dolomites. So we had Human Tornado and the original Dolomite and Petey Wheatstraw. And so we get smashed, lose all our money at the strip club, and then go back and watch, like 3 Dolomite movies and pass out.
Do you guys remember Johnny Quest? Not
I
Animal.
remember Johnny
The
Quest.
original Johnny
Haji.
Quest.
Haji,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
Ray Spannin.
Bandit was the dog.
Yep.
I'm older than all of you guys, and when I was a little boy, I was watching Herculoids, Mighty Minor, Space Ghost.
I remember them.
Oh, Space
Yeah.
Ghost. Yep.
And Roadrunner and Coyote.
Yep.
Oh, I
We
love
know all
Roadrunner.
those, the Herculoids too. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah.
I just got to ask a question. Why the hell the Coyote keep going to the same damn company to buy stuff that didn't work? Everything came from Acme.
Acme. And I used to love the theme song, Roadrunner. That coyote's really a silly clown. Beep, beep.
Yeah, see, they stopped that song. They didn't.
Huh?
They didn't like later on. They didn't do that. I want to ask everybody on the panel: how many of you have been on a road where it was kind of like serene, where it felt like it was just the road runner and like that road that you see in the Saturday morning cartoons?
Arizona.
Have you ever been on a road like that?
Yeah. Tucson, outside of Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona.
Yeah.
That's
Where I live.
where Copa lives in Arizona.
Yeah, that's where I live.
Some
Yeah,
parts of California I've been through too were kind of like that when you were outside of Barstow.
By Coachella.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh.
Well,
It's
what
nice
about
to see
Rocky and Bullwinkle?
Oh yeah.
I remember them.
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
It
Love-
had
love
kind of the
that.
double, it had a lot of jokes that adults would catch.
It was
And
funny.
it was. There's a line where Bullwinkle says, "What are we going to do with a bunch of girls?" And Rocky says, "Boy, this really is a kid show, isn't it?"
Oh man, y'all
Yeah.
taking me back.
Oh, I got one more. Big Guy and Rusty, the boy robot.
I don't remember that.
I didn't
I
see
loved-
it, but I heard of it.
I loved Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse.
Oh yeah,
They-
created by Bob Kane.
Yeah, it was kind of dark, and it had that like it was a Bobby Guns or Billy. That's dun 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 dun. It was and even the art and everything. It was I mean for a cat and a mouse thing, it was cool.
And speaking of dark, what about Felix the Cat? That was
I
bizarre.
love Felix the
I
Cat.
remember Felix the cat.
Tom and
With-
Jerry. I like Tom and Jerry. too.
The professor in Rock Bottom.
You know what I loved about Tom and Jerry was that you never saw anything but that woman's like knees or like from the waist down. You never got to see what she looked like. You just saw her dress and from the knees down. Thomas.
Well, the Peanuts did that too. You never saw the adults.
You never heard their voice either.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, how did their voice go?
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, something like that.
Hey,
Oh,
I got some for Phil and Copa.
Huh?
Are you guys artillery?
But on a Copa note though, how much of your new your project are you using your family to help in their input, and how valuable is that to you?
Actually, my oldest son, has been helping me. I started writing a story. He put some input into it, and we wrote the episode 0. And
Nice.
he was the one. Him and my friend, who's another developer. They came up with the idea, like when I said be a hero, they're like, what about people if they want to be the bad guy? And then my friend, the programmer, I'm like, okay, we could do that. He decided let's do this and expand it. I'm like looking at him, that's a lot of work we're gonna have to do if we do that. He's like, yeah, we can have it where they have different storylines, and so they're all prepped. They're hoping if everything goes out, if people like episode 0, then we can start writing code to put everything in place. That's the thing right there. Writing the code takes most of the time, because we're gonna have to write code that's gonna have to find our character replace our character with you, and then replace the voice with you. And
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that could be a lot of lines right there.
yeah,
We talking thousands of lines.
Yeah.
exactly.
And
But I mean,
Cobalt,
if you since you're not against AI, I mean, it's a lot of that frame. It's a lot of that you can like you can have agents workflow for you. You know, whatever you comfortable with. You know.
Well, that's the plan. What we're going to do is we're going to write the code. We're going to use AI to write some of the code, but it still has to be structured and everything else.
Yeah.
And for me, I've been a software developer now 20 years. Like I said, I
Okay.
was a nerd. I was writing code when I was 10 years old on my Commodore 64. When everything was, I was surfing with a whole 64K. I mean, my cell phone right now has probably 100 times more power than my little Commodore 64 I plugged into the TV. So,
Radio Shack, realistic, basic computer too. Did you ever
That
get
was
one
the
of them too?
oh,
that was the
Tandy.
Tandy. The
Remember
Tandies, yeah.
the little Radio Shack one they had? It had basic, you know. It worked. It ran on basic, you know. But
Yeah, mine was similar like that. It was a Commodore. I plug it into a TV where you had, just like the Atari, where you had to
yeah.
go into the back, all that stuff.
So actually, oh man, okay.
In fact, I saw Atari. I was thinking about buying it. I was like, wow, Atari. And I saw a Nintendo with Mike Tyson Punch Out. I was going to
I
buy
love
that
that game.
Nintendo just for that game. I miss
Oh,
Mike
Love
Tyson
that
Punch
game.
Out so much.
Yep.
oh my.
Yeah. Body blow. Body blow.
it's addicting.
Copa, with your talent and everything, are you going to like create like little movies for YouTube or even come out with some comic books?
Well, to be honest, when I was with my ex-wife, she wasn't a fan of anime, but I gave her a character for a book, and I started writing a book. And so when my anime comes out, I'm going to release 2 of the chapters, but I wrote a little book. It's called Black Van. And it's it's about vampires and humans, but don't get it twisted. Everybody like, oh, vampires. In this case, vampires are like vampire bats and bats. So you could be born and your brother could be a vampire. Now he can still go out in the sunlight, he can still eat regular food and everything else. He's probably 10% stronger than you, but he's just like you. The only difference is he can drink blood. Now, normally they don't drink you until you're dead. They drink enough. And in this society, humans and vampires interface all the time. In fact, more humans marry vampires than humans marrying humans, and vampires marrying vampires, because when a vampire sucks your blood, the glands that they use puts in this chemical that makes it better than sex. So humans love to get their blood sucked by vampires, and vampires love sucking blood because they feel it.
Yeah.
Is this like soft porn? Are you writing porn?
Oh no, this isn't porn. Now, what ends up happening is this: because vampires' gland has this chemical, you have humans who are killing vampires to take this gland, and they sell the chemical on the street. Now, because it's not in the small doses that come from vampires' teeth, it has a huge effect on humans where they get addicted to it, and over time you become comatose, pretty much a vegetable. And then you also have this dark side of vampires who believe they should be ruling, so they're killing humans. But in this instance, a murder happens, and it doesn't fit any of these characteristics. So we have to go through in this mystery and find out what exactly is happening, what happened to this person, and what happens with these other murders that's different from normal. Because normally when vampires bite you, they don't suck you dry, it's a mystery thriller.
Interesting. And Copa, I found that anime thing that is really popular right now that's trending with the kids, and it's called K-pop Demon Hunters.
Never heard of it.
Okay, you have to check that out. So, okay, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you want to know that is an anime? I gotta be honest. As a guy, this anime made me cry. It is called. It's about this god. He creates this entity. And it starts off with this entity being a stone, and it runs it first into a wolf, and it transforms into a wolf, and it runs into a boy, and the boy is like this entity's immortal, and everybody it runs into, eventually it creates a relationship with, and because he's immortal and nobody else is immortal, every episode ends with that person you're getting connected to dying. So it's very, very sad animal.
Wow, yeah.
I forgot what it's called. It to something immortality or something like that.
Yeah.
And every episode they build you up with him and this
I
character.
can see what you mean. You know what? I have a similar with One Piece, right?
Mhm.
You heard of One Piece. Well, what got me watching that? My son was sitting down one day and they had this General Whitebeard, and he had raised all these pirates like he was like a father, and he was like the number one. So this one little kid was saying, "Hey man, where's Whitebeard?" And they said, "I don't know. He's over there." But why? They said, "Because I want to find him." And they were like, "Okay." So he asked another guy, says, "What do you want to find him for?" He says, "Well, he's the number one pirate in the world, right?" And it was Whitebeard talking to him. And he goes, "Well, I guess maybe that's just, I guess so." And he said, "So if I beat Whitebeard, then I'm the number one pirate in the world, right?" And so Whitebeard's looking at him. He goes, he said, "I guess that would mean that then." So he says, "So are you Whitebeard?" He says, "I guess I am." He said, "Can I fight you?" So him and Whitebeard start, he tried to do his little thing, and Whitebeard was just humoring him, but he really tried, and he couldn't. And these other big, powerful pirates came and said, "Hey, young man," they said, "Hold on a minute." And Whitebeard came up to him. He said, "You know what?" He said, "It's a lot of young men that I've met." He said, "I like you." He said, "Be my son." He said, "Come stay with me." He said, "Be my son. I'll train you." He said, "Be my." And the guy looked at him. He says, "You're not my dad. I'm not gonna be your son. What are you talking about?" And the other pirates, they said, "Hey, no." He said, "Look at us." He said, "We were your size when we came to him. We were just little lads." He said, "This is a good guy." And so he said, "Okay." He said, "All right." So they had a war. Fast forward, this guy grew up, had his powers. This was Luffy's brother. So he had his powers. And Whitebeard, there was a great war where everybody wanted to kill Whitebeard. And Whitebeard has one of the few people that had these 5 haki, these five elemental powers. One of the few that had them. So the admiral, I guess what you would call like the navy, the good side and then the pirate side, they had an all-out war, and they were going to kill his sons. And so what he did was he went to an island where they all were, and he was talking to him. He distracted him, and he put his cane in, and he used his haki to separate the whole landmass. So they were floating away from him, and they realized that he was going to fight the battle for them by himself. And they were calling. They said, "Dad!" And it was all the pirates that he had raised, and they were screaming, crying, hollering like, "Dad, what are you doing? Dad, we love you. Like, what are you doing?" And he was like, and he stood behind them with his back, and a tear came down his eye. And he was fighting, and the Navy came. They were putting mortars and everything. He was kicking ass, really. But then he just couldn't take all of them, and he died standing up, and he died with tears coming. Man, that shit. Because as a father, it just. I said, "Wow, this is some."
It touched you, huh?
So that got me hooked, and I started trying to find different ones, that I like. I didn't stop there, but like I did like Code Geass. What was that one where the guy could see a split second before everybody, and then it gave him all the power? Like he could tell you, he was telling this guy, "Hey, look, if you want to live," it was the soldier that was getting ready to get killed, ambushed. He said, "If you want to live," he was in his earpiece. He said, "Follow my every movement." He said, "Go to the left." Then he told him, "Go to the right, go straight." But he can see a half second into the future. But that half second allowed him to be ahead of everybody.
I haven't heard of that one. You got to tell me about that one. That sounds good.
It was like Code Geass. I gotta remember the name, but it was it was pretty cool. I think you would like it.
Yeah, Zendine, I was watching some show. Oh no, it was a movie in which the person was able to see the future a few minutes ahead of time, and then go back, and he was able to warn his girlfriend about something. But there was a movie like that too.
Yeah,
they did something like that.
I've seen that done a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a Twilight Zone episode where they would take a photograph and it turned out
That's
the
it.
photograph was a little ways into the future. It was
Oh
it was
yeah.
played as a comedy, and I can't remember the actors that were in it, but it was pretty funny.
They all died in the end because they took a picture of
Yeah,
the ground and they were all there dead on the ground. But
Well, that's
yeah,
like
man, there's
that's
some.
like Death Note. But yeah, Copa. When I looked at the art, man, it gave me the powerful feeling of like Thanos, but not like him, but just like on that level. Me and Paul was saying that.
Well, it's going to change. The artwork is going to be mainly like that, but when it gets to action scenes, it's going to become more Japanese anime
Oh,
because
okay, okay,
because all the jumping around trying to look real isn't going to happen. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like when you see solo leveling, you see it looks cool because of the anime style. Now, if I kept that anime style in an action thing, it's going to look so unreal and fake. But if I change the anime style during the action scene,
Ah,
then I could have that whole anime
okay.
action and then bring it back to the more realistic style. So that's the whole plan
Ah,
right there.
I
So it doesn't
understand.
look so corny when you see where you see this real human flying around. It don't look corny. You know what I mean?
I got some for Zandine here. Zandine, um, you are. It says I looked it up. It says you are likely thinking of the 2026 sci-fi action movie Next, starring Nicolas Cage. The film follows Chris Johnson, a Las Vegas magician who is born with the rare ability to see 2 minutes into his own future. He uses his gift to win at casino blackjack and stay one step ahead of the FBI, who want to recruit him to stop a nuclear terrorist attack. Are you talking about that one?
No, that's actually some. This one, it was a whole anime series. They had like 2 or 3 seasons of it, but it was a Japanese guy who could see, and I think it was only like a half second. This guy could do 2 minutes, but it was enough. But hey, I mean, I like that one. Actually, I got to check that out. I mean, like, did you see Sisyphus? It's that Korean time travel movie. I mean, like for deep thinkers, they have a lot of twist on it. SYS PH. It's on Netflix anyway. It's called Sisyphus. But anyway,
You know, it's amazing. South Korea is really making some good
it
movies,
makes
like
some good
the
stuff, huh?
Train to Busan with the zombies. That was
Hey,
incredible.
Colony is coming out. If you like zombie movies, anybody check out Colony. I mean, it's got the type of zombie chases like, say if you're like, 50, 60, 70, and you really just you're not trying to run too much, If you have to, you will. These zombies will force you, hey, look, you want to live? You're gonna run. You're gonna run like you was like 30 or 20. And
That's
so
almost like what that came on Netflix. It was called Black something,
Black Summer. Oh yeah. Yeah, see
and those zombies were sprinting. It was the first.
that's what I like.
I don't like the fast zombies. Give me the slow zombies any day.
Yeah,
I like the
exactly. I'm
fast
out of
ones.
shape. They're gonna catch me.
I like the fast ones, man. I like when you get in the siege, you hold up, you gotta make your rations work, you gotta really be fortified. But they never had a good zombie suit. Everybody comes out unprepared, so whatever.
What I did like about that show was this, though. They did it from different aspects. Even one aspect, you were the zombie, and you got to see how the zombie sees things as he's chasing people. Normally, you have your main character and so forth. This one, each one, and it was all happening at the same time. So, like an hour was like 3 days of the show. It was so cool.
I wish they had more than 2 seasons though, man. I wonder why they stopped it's like the second season was going good, and then it's like,
Yeah, they didn't finish. I mean, there was still zombies. They could still be going. And you know what? To be honest, I used to be a Walking Dead fan, but they just lost their luster. I mean, it
They
just
did. They lost their luster. You're right. Oh my
Absolutely.
God. I used to be a Walking Dead fan too. And not only that, I had some letters published in the Walking Dead comic book.
oh wow.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
that show just I watched that show. I remember when I watched the little boy from 10 years old grow all the way up, and then they kill him. I'm like, what? You killed him? And this I don't know.
And what's the
It just
guy's name with
Make
the
you mad,
baseball
huh?
bat? What's the guy's name with the baseball bat?
With the baseball bat in Walking Dead.
Oh, the brother.
Uh,
And
Negan.
yeah, Negan. This is when
Oh.
everybody was shocked when Negan came out and he bashed that guy's head, and
Yeah,
then
that was done, man.
you weren't expecting it, and then he bashes another guy's head. It's
Yes.
like, and it was brutal. It was brutal.
And his last words was he looked at his wife and said, "I love you." And then he died. And then he got the last bash and died. Yeah, my wife cried at that. She's like, they killed him. Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
I mean,
Hey, Steve, did you like the slow ones? Did you like Walking Dead, Steve?
I started out watching it and liking it, but there's a couple episodes that really turned me off through the series, and I just quit. But what was that? 18 days later, or 18 hours later, or whatever it was.
Days, 28 days later.
Yeah, that's it. Those are the fast moving zombies, man. I don't like those suckers at all, man. I would just, I'd go to Tahiti or someplace where there were no zombies.
How about Z Nation?
They just move too fast.
How about Z Nation?
I never saw that one.
Not bad, kind of fast. It's okay though.
I saw the original Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, and they were slow zombies.
Yeah.
Oh no, Dawn of the Dead, they were fast.
The fast one with Ving Rhames.
Yeah, that was the one with Ving Rhames. That
was a remake. That was the one he's talking about. Yeah, I know what you mean, Steve.
The original Dawn of the Dead.
Oh yeah, I remember original. Yeah. The second one, they were fast with Ving Rhames, but the one before that, it all followed the whole I don't want to say Walking Dead, but the original what was it called? The very first zombie
Night of the
movie.
Living Dead.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead. They all kind of followed that route.
Yeah.
What movie or what TV show where they show the zombies where they're able to actually talk? I just, it was maybe about 2 weeks ago, I watched a movie.
The Shaun of the Dead?
No, it wasn't Shaun of the Dead. It was
that was a great show where the girl becomes a zombie, but she's like a coroner or something, and she's got white hair. They try to make zombies sexy.
iZombie.
I love Shaun of the Dead.
She wasn't
Shaun of the Dead was awesome.
Yeah.
But I think the fast zombies were necessary, and I think the newer ones that came out just recently along those lines from 28 years later, were really good. Because I mean, you can only be scared of the slow zombies for so long, and they can only do the same thing for so long. When the first 28 days later came out, it was awesome. I mean, what a difference, man. Especially the way they were able to empty out London for that opening shot and all that. And it was on camcorder, I think, that first movie, so it had a real raw feel to it. And then the most recent ones they've done to it is much more than a zombie movie. I mean, if you know the history of England, the way they shot that movie, and they keep showing shots from like Henry V and things with all these old movies and all that, and the way they portray England as an island. And so, I mean, yeah, if there's a zombie breakout, then of course, why not just isolate it for what it is? It's an island, right? And then of course there's the mother-son story in it, and then the one after that with the guy who thinks he's the son of the devil. I thought they did. I mean, how do you do a sequel 20-something years later? They managed to pull it off pretty well.
It was more realistic too, though, because it wasn't necessarily zombies. It was kind of more of a rabies, because it started off from the monkeys and it bit the people, and the people went mad. They didn't actually eat you; they bit you and you got infected. So it kind of freaked you out because you're like, you know what, something like this could happen.
I see what you're saying. I see, it's a good point.
I found the zombie that is able to talk. That was Z Nation. And his name was Murphy, a hybrid human zombie who retains his ability to talk, reason, and eventually control the undead.
That was RoboCop's name, Murphy.
Murphy, yeah.
Hey, Phil, did you ever watch any of the Maniac Cops?
Yeah, anything from Tromaville I watched.
Okay, I want to ask you. Okay, remember how they had Clarence Williams III in there, right? Link from My Squad was in one of them, right? You remember that
Yeah.
one?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you remember when they were running around with the killer, like following him, the other guy doing whatever he said?
And a busted van. Go swankers, chasing back.